Hello, one and all. It's me, Dr. Stone, Chapter 222, Science Road. And Senku's done it. After 200 freaking chapters, Senku has finally done it. He's built a smartphone! Yay! I mean, he also built a rocket, but I think the smartphone is way more interesting and way more, emotionally fulfilling because Taiju has been asking for that ever since Senku first woke him up, and Senku laughed at him. We all laughed at him. There's no way they get a smartphone working in the Stone Age, but they did! I mean, it does weigh 40 kilograms, but still, it's a freaking smartphone with an LCD screen, internet access, games, phone, and a Stone World database. That is impressive. That is seriously, seriously impressive. I mean, obviously it would have games since Sai was involved in its creation, but still, being able to access the internet, being able to call and text and email anyone in the world, that is such a huge, huge step, and I cannot believe how far we've freaking come. I mean, seriously, let's not forget, we actually saw this chapter, the entire diagram, the entire journey they've taken, from stones to fire to iron to gears to water wheels to electricity to oil to electromagnetic waves to the computers to the smartphone to the spacesuits to the spaceship to the rocket engine, all the way to the freaking goddamn moon. That is how far they've come, and we've seen every single step of the process. Oh, I love it. I freaking love it. And, science, this is a big point of the series. Science builds on itself. Science evolves. Once you manage to make, a stone or stone tools, you can use that to cut down trees and use that to make fire and then use that to make earthenware and alcohol. That is the process of science. That's, a big thing with the whole, mission to the moon. I mean, so many of our modern day inventions were created because we needed them to actually get to space. We actually needed them in space. And now Senku's doing the same thing here as he's doing a mad dash to invent as many things as he can all at once. And first up on the list, we have the microwave, probably the most useful invention humanity has ever made, and it just blows the mind of everyone that gets so hot so quickly without using fire. And seriously, they've waited this long to make the microwave? They've just been cooking with fire this entire time? I feel like at the very least that could have been useful, on the ship they were piloting from, across the freaking ocean. I feel like that would have been very, very helpful to be able to cook their food without needing to, actually start a fire on a very small ship that was made at least partially of wood. So yeah, they have microwave now. Yay! As well as plastic wraps to make sure the food doesn't go bad so quickly. And a washing machine, which, again, you were just now inventing the washing machine? I feel like that could have been so very, very helpful so many times before. I mean, there's a fairly large community up at this point. They've all just been washing their clothes by hand this entire time. How is the first time anyone's thought to make a washing machine? I'm sure Yuzu would have asked about this beforehand. I mean, she looks so excited to get it. She was in charge of the clothes, so yeah, Senku feels like he kind of could have done that, for a bit earlier. And then, of course, for our lovely reporter, she wants film. She wants a camera. She wants to be able to actually, record all these events in history, record the first rocket launch of the new era. And then just so many, many more things. I mean, they have a lot of requests. Obviously, Ryu, the greediest man in the world, wants a wine cellar, a jacuzzi, a microwave oven, and a slot machine. I'm pretty sure Senku only makes him the microwave oven, but still, that's a big step forward. A jacuzzi, though. Ooh, I would love to see everyone get a jacuzzi in this world. Oh god, imagine just the people of Ishigami Village realizing, oh my god, this water, it's warm, and it's bubbly, and it feels so good. I didn't know we would be able to feel this good in this world. The one guy asked for a robot maid, so clearly he's a man of culture, and it does seem like Senku actually builds him one. I mean, she's a little smaller than the guy probably expects, but she does seem to be a robot that's able to do tasks, so interesting? Very, very interesting. He also makes protein powder, and a PlayStation 5, which, yeah, obviously, Sai would have very, very much wanted to make a gaming console for the masses, so of course Senku would make it. Just one little issue with this, I'm seeing a lot of debate about this online. From what I can see, the PlayStation 5 was actually announced before everyone was petrified, but the images of it weren't actually shown until like a year after they were petrified. So yeah, the guy would have known what PS5 is, but he wouldn't have actually known what it looked like. So small issue there, but whatever, it's not that big a deal. And then, of course, Taiju comes up again and says, hey, Senku, can I guess? And before he even finished the sentence, Senku's like, oh, I know what you want. I know what you want, buddy. And everyone else is like, wait a minute, Senku, are you being serious right now? Can you actually make this? Can you actually make a smartphone in the Stone Age? And he can. He actually freaking can. Oh, I love it. I love it. And really, the only thing they were missing for making the smartphone was the actual screen, the liquid crystal display. And Senku was able to actually make it work this time. Through an explanation I kind of sort of understand, not that much. I mean, like Jen says here, nothing's really easy about this example. Nothing's really easy about the explanation they're giving here. But Senku was able to make it work, and huzzah! There's actually able to, make the numbers appear correctly, which I'm actually amazed it's taken this long to do, considering I guess the computer works slightly differently, but that would definitely make, I think, computers a lot easier, a lot more manageable. I mean, they could have just said, oh, we're making the LCD screen for Sai to make his computer screen easier to see, to make his computer screen able to more accurately depict data. But no, they decided to fill Taiju's big wish. They decided to make Taiju a freaking smartphone because he's been asking for one for so very, very long. And you know what? He deserves it. He absolutely freaking deserves it because, I mean, let's not forget how much this dude has been through ever since he was first woken up. I mean, there was a full year of him, just living in the Stone Age with Senku by himself, working tirelessly to actually get things done, to be Senku's muscle. And then he watched his best friend get murdered, and then he became a spy for a good year. And then just a whole bunch of other madness happened. And, finally, he's back in Japan with the woman he loves. He's got a smartphone, and he deserves to be happy. He deserves his happily ever after. And, now that he actually has a smartphone, that does raise a fairly good question, because he said, he wouldn't actually propose to Yuzu, he wouldn't actually officially declare his love to her until they were back in, the modern age. And he has a smartphone now that feels as close as you can get to the modern age while still being in the Stone Age. So I think, all the requirements have met. I think Taiju can actually profess his love to Yuzu. And if he doesn't, I feel like she might be able to punch. I feel like she might, profess her love to him first, which I would not hate. I would not hate if she was the one that proposed to him and said, Taiju, will you marry me? Oh, that'd be amazing. That'd be absolutely freaking amazing. And I'm sure we're going to see a whole bunch of proposals, a whole bunch of marriages before this series comes to an end. And we have Chrome and Ruri, we have Senku and Kohaku, we have Senku and Luna, we have Luna and Jinro. At least one of those couples will be canon. We have Nikki and Magma. I have a lot of faith in those two. We have Tsukasa and the reporter girl, whose name I can never remember. And what other couples do we have? That's all the ones I can currently think of. I'm just going to assume, we're going to get an epilogue to the series that's going to show everyone happily married with kids. Nikki, keeping Magma in line. Kawaku keeping Senku from working himself to death. Ryu with 100 women, 100 wives, because of course Ryu would have more than one wife. I mean, it's Ryu we're talking about. Of course he would freaking do that. But before we actually get to the epilogue, we still need to actually, launch this freaking rocket into space, which is gonna be a hassle. It's definitely gonna be a hassle. I mean, they have the whole rocket built up, but, let's not forget, there is still the traitor in their midst. Probably. I mean, that whole thing hasn't really been answered yet. The Medusa activated itself, which means either one, the Medusa has some reason to activate itself when it's in a vacuum, when it's in space, for some reason, in which case Senku and the gang won't actually be able to bring Medusa with them, won't actually be able to petrify themselves for the launch to the moon. Or secondly, there was a traitor in their midst who managed to, activate the Medusa without anybody noticing. And if so, they could seriously sabotage this rocket, break it down, cause it to crash, cause something to happen, so that the astronauts don't actually make it to space. And honestly, Medusa being activated is just this huge mystery that has not really been addressed since it happened, and it's so weird that it hasn't. I mean, chronologically, I think years have passed since that point, so has Senku and the rest of them been looking for a traitor this entire time? Are they on their own little hunt? I mean, are there details in these last few chapters I've just missed of Senku, actually being able to track down the traitor? Senku picking up clues, Senku trying to hunt them down? I mean, none that I can really think of. But please, let me know what you think. Do you think there's still a traitor in their midst? Do you think they're going to sabotage rocket launch? What exactly is their goal in activating Medusa all those months ago, all those years ago? And what are they going to do next? And then we have the 3 astronauts. I mean, it seems fairly set in stone. The astronauts are going to be Senku, Kohaku, and Stanley. And I mean, I've been saying for a long time, I thought it would be, Chrome. I really thought Senku would give up his seat to Chrome. But that doesn't actually seem to be the case. It doesn't actually seem possible, because they actually, measured everyone for rocket suits at the very start of this chapter. So, yeah, I mean, the suits have been made. The suits have been measured. And unless Senku said, okay, you know what? I actually did all the math. I know Chrome's measurements perfectly. So I made my suit in his exact size. And I didn't tell him about it. It seems rather unlikely that, Senku would be able to give up a seat to Chrome. without them having to make a whole new spacesuit, which would take, a rather long time. I mean, I know Senku and Chrome are rather similar, size-wise, but I don't think they're close enough where, perfectly sized spacesuit would fit both of them, so very curious about that. Also, while we're talking about spacesuits, is Kohaku naked here? I mean, I'm fairly certain she is, which I find rather weird because, Stanley and Senku are in the background. I mean, if it's just Yuzu, that'd be fine. Even maybe Senku would be fine for her, but Stanley is literally right there, and, neither Yuzu or Kohaku are bothered by that? That's weird. That's kind of weird to me. But anyway, please let me know down below. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss my next video, and until then, peace!